Ready? Morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, December 10th. It is 10:02 a.m. We're at the courthouse in Marfa, Texas. This is a regular meeting of the Commissioners Court. If I could ask for a quorum check, please. Present.
Here.
Present.
He said he's going to be on Zoom.
Commissioner 54, Betty Knight.
Here.
Thank you so much. Pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag
Of the United States
of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So we'll open it up for public comments. You have 5 minutes. Please, if you would tell us your name, you have the floor.
Judge, I'm back. Robert Davis, Marfa residence, Salsa Puentes. So I'm here about the potholes in Salsa Puentes one more time. This is visit number 3. I've spoken to at least 4 of you personally. For some reason, we can't seem to get the potholes repaired and the road maintained. So Mr. Carrasco has lied to you, saying he was coming out. He lied to you. He lied to me. I don't know what he told you. And Mr. Knight, I've spoken to him at the post office, still not coming out. I have no idea why. If we can't find somebody to do the work, replace him, find somebody else that can do this. I have no idea why this is so hard. I know nobody's going to reply to me because that's not the way this works, but I think it's ridiculous. Is there any reason that this is not being done? Not a budget, it's not a weather, it's not a time management staff. There's just nobody's coming out to fix the potholes. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Public comments. Anybody in the virtual world? Okay. So we'll move on to our routine agenda items. Agenda item number 1, discuss and take action to approve budget amendments and/or line item transfers.
Yes, I don't have line item stuff. I do have one budget amendment.
Okay.
Okay, this was for, Cedar County, been awarded a grant from the National Association of Counties Research Foundation, NACO. The award is for $50,000 and there is no match required for the county. Funds from this grant will be used to support the county's capacity for the implementation and integration of data and evidence-based policies to advance equitable economic mobility. The goal of this effort is to launch a regional workforce pipeline for careers tied to the reactivation of the international U.S.-Mexico rail connection and its associated industrial growth. This includes employer-driven hiring pathways and services that will help residents convert training into sustained employment.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. There's a motion. And I've attached the NACO, their report and all that required stuff.
That's in the drive.
Yes.
So I know I have a meeting next week with Meredith, and we're going to get that thing going.
Yes, and we received $25,000 of the $50,000.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Any questions on that? I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the budget amendments as presented by the county auditor.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
No, still no Frankie? All right, agenda item number 2, and discuss and take action to approve the auditor's monthly report.
Yes, sir, I had emailed that to you guys and I uploaded it to the file as well. If there are any questions, please let me know.
Alicia, I noticed that you also uploaded the jail stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk about that? Why we're looking at that?
So I submit a budget report, a monthly report, expense and revenue report from the jail. You can see how much money you have been received up until October 2025. That's for, marshal services and how much money the jail has been spending. So it's kind of just to keep you on track of what's incoming and what's outgoing.
And it doesn't look really good right now, does it?
No.
Okay. And even though, when does the marshal's contract
They
go?
went into effect, November 1st.
Okay,
So, we'll see, I guess next month, once we receive that payment.
okay,
For it matches with the expenses.
okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I move that we approve the auditor's monthly report as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item number 3, discuss and take action to approve the treasurer's list of claims and bills.
Morning, Commissioners, Judge.
Morning.
The amount of bills for this round is $463,562.71.
Anything unusual?
Nothing unusual. I think we are trying to get all the invoices out or paid out for fiscal year 25.
Right.
So that's why you have some of the quarter reports that are late, just because we're waiting on some signatures and stuff, invoices, but the auditor's getting ready to close out the fiscal year.
When do you perceive that that would be closed out for FY
Just trying to
25?
close it.
December 31st.
Okay. Thank you.
I move that we approve the treasurer's list of claims and bills as presented.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item number 4, discuss and take action to approve the treasurer's monthly report.
So for the month of November, we have $1,032,655.55. That was the beginning balance. Then we had debts and withdrawals of $524,298.36. We received and it came into that account $417,068.89. So that made that the ending balance of $925,426.08. As of today, I checked the bank account this morning, which is $769,791.90. And then you approved bills today, so you still have to take all the bills that are going to be about to get paid from this.
Right.
We did receive the ad valorem taxes that came in. I received them Tuesday, so hopefully those will get deposited today.
All right.
And those are roughly around $1,092,000. Our savings through Marfa National Bank was $863,339.98. Made $66.24. The month of November, which leaves the ending balance at $863,406.19. Payroll for the month of November was a total of $334,102.49. And the current payroll that just passed December 5th was $164,637.17. That's where we're at.
Thank you so much.
I move we approve the treasurer's monthly report as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Agenda item number 5, discuss and take action to approve the Commissioners Court minutes for the meetings of 11/12/25. Are they back and 11/25/25?
I did review both of the minutes for November 12th and November 25th, and I found no concerns with them. So I move that we approve the previous Commissioners Court meetings minutes for, in section A, November 12th, 2025. Do we need to do these separately? Okay. For November 12th, 2025 and November 25th, 2025.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
We'll move on to the regular agenda. Mr. Trey Gerpers, General Manager of the Presidio County Underwater Conservation District. Good morning.
Okay, well, so the first agenda item, is to appoint Yulisa Muniz, to serve on the board of directors of the Groundwater Conservation District. She will be replacing Melinda Richardson. And, it's usually pretty straightforward. Y'all just appoint them and then we get them sworn in and get them on and keep on trucking.
I think she'll serve you well.
Yeah, she's got some accounting expertise
She
Right.
does.
that Melinda had and that we really did use of.
Yeah.
So, I think it's gonna be a good fit.
Mhm. Good for you guys.
I'll move that we appoint Goricel Muniz to serve on the Board of Directors of the Presidio County Underground Water Conservation District Board.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You good with that, buddy?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I was another item there.
You're touching it. You're running ahead. We'll move on to the one I think you were cheating on.
Yeah.
Agenda on item number 7, the presentation of EDAP projects update to the Commissioners Court.
Okay,
All right, judge, commissioners, county auditor, county attorney. Good to be with y'all again. It's been a while. Working on the economically distressed areas program projects has been a roller coaster. And sometimes it would seem like nothing was happening. And then other times it would seem like everything was happening. And so fortunately, at the end of 2025, we're at a really good spot. And so I wanted to come and update everybody on where we are. And so I made a cute little presentation for y'all that Carrie is going to be fun enough to open up and then also advance the slides for me. You might have to share your screen.
Let the record show I see Commissioner Ortiz on there. He's coming in and out. Can you hear me?
Right. So, if you want to hit the next slide, and you can also kind of make it the whole screen. Yeah. And then next slide, please. Okay, so it got kind of munched a little bit, but I think people can read it. The Economically Distressed Areas Program is a program of the Texas Water Development Board. They provide grant funding, and then they also purchase debt from entities as part of a loan arrangement. And so typically there'll be a certain percentage of grant, a certain percentage of loan. And so we first sort of got into this whole thing back in late 2021. Going to give everybody a little bit of a background because it's can be confusing, and I know some of the commissioners weren't here when this started, and Judge, you weren't here right at the very beginning of this. But the Environmental Defense Fund approached the Groundwater Conservation District because they wanted to push the Texas Water Development Board to fund more groundwater science. And so I agreed to be the test case for that effort. And when we sat down with the grant writer, he asked me, hey, how are things on the ground in Presidio County? Whoa, I had a long list. And at that time, the pump house had burned down in Shafter. They had been without water. There were people in Marfa who were coming to city council saying, hey, I don't have water. When am I getting water? We knew about the Las Pampas situation that's been going on for decades. And then there were issues with massive water loss in Presidio and some other issues with the standpipe and other things. And so I just kind of talked to the grant writer about all this, and I'll just go ahead and write the application or the pre-application, as it were, for the whole county. And so it was sort of a time crunch because we had sat down on a Zoom meeting on a Tuesday, and the pre-application was due like the next week. And so the grant writer said, look, I need projects and just kind of back of envelope prices, costs by Friday. And so, in the interest of just streamlining it, if you want to hit the next slide, please. I went on ahead and I contacted, one city council member from each city and the city manager from each city. And so, in the end, Martha ended up requesting a new sewer for Fort D.A. Russell, which is kind of more commonly known today as the Gennady Foundation. They also wanted to bring water and wastewater to East Heights, which is kind of over across east of the creek, across from the dollar store. And there were some other unserved areas in town that they were interested in getting infrastructure to. City of Presidio asked for standpipe rehabilitation and some help with leaks. And then the county priorities included Las Pampas and then also help for Shafter. Next slide. So then in early 2022, the grant writers submitted the project information form, which is sort of pre-application to the Texas Water Development Board with help from me. And the PIF included all the projects that we requested, everything. Next slide. So then in mid-2022, the county was invited to apply to the Economically Distressed Areas Program, the EDAP program. EDAP only funds first-time water and wastewater service projects, and also projects that address environmental violations. So the City of Presidio's projects were not eligible for EDAP funding, but they were submitted with the whole pre-application. It just was luck of the draw that EDAP was the first program that picked us up. There are other programs like state revolving funds that cover drinking water projects, clean water projects, which are pretty much all water projects except for drinking water. And so it was just the luck of the draw. There was no decision to not fund projects for City of Presidio. Next slide. So in late 2022, the county assembled a team of the grant writer, a bond counsel, a financial advisor, and an engineer to complete the application. I'm not really sure if anybody in this room's ever done one of those things. It is a beast, and you really need the whole team. It's not terribly intuitive, and so you need people that kind of have done this before and can kind of walk you through it. I was the person on the ground, though, getting all the information, talking to all the communities, figuring out what the needs were. In early 2023, the county submitted its EDAP application and spent the rest of the year answering questions and providing information to the Texas Water Development Board. Next slide. So then in early 2024, the county received about $3.3 million in grant funding and about $1.3 million in loan funding from Water Development Board for its EDAP projects. And these included design of water systems for Las Pampas and Shafter, which were the county's priorities, design and construction of a new wastewater system for Fort D.A. Russell, and water and wastewater for East Heights. And these were both Martha's priority projects. And all of these involved first-time water or wastewater to people, or the addressing of an environmental concern, which was what Fort D.A. Russell was. Yes, ma'am.
Just to confirm, for people who don't know what East Heights is, it does include Sassy Woods, right?
The name does, but this is the section of East Heights that's south of the railroad tracks.
Okay,
Yes, that good
so
question.
East Heights does, but
This is the portion that doesn't have any water.
Got it.
So the other portions of East Heights do have water, do have wastewater, and as you'll see on the map that's coming up, we're hooking into that
Got it.
under Oak Street. So, but good question. And any other questions? Call me out because I want this to be clear. Okay, so once the loan closed in February, the county hired Brock and Bustillos out of El Paso as the engineers. They hired Becky Brewster as the grant administrator, and they hired me as the program manager. And so we form the EDAP team. Next slide, please.
Trey, I have a question about that $1.3 million loan.
Yes.
Is that just the county, or is the county and the city of Marfa that is?
Okay, so on the advice of our technical service providers, so technical assistance providers, so the Water Development Board's application process is so complicated
Right.
that there's a whole stratum of consultants that provide what's known as technical assistance. So you have to have technical assistance to manage and navigate the application process. And on the advice of our technical assistance providers, they wanted the county to apply on behalf of all of the other communities within the county so that we're not competing against each other.
Right.
And so the county then was going to be the one that was going to take on the grant, take on the debt, and then the bond council created a very complex agreement with the city of Marfa, by which the city of Marfa would be paying the county back for the infrastructure loan that it was taking out on Marfa's behalf.
Okay.
And that also included the county owning that infrastructure until that loan is paid off. It's a little bit of a fiction because the city will continue to, register and work on the thing, but it was the only way to get the attorney general to approve this very convoluted, complex package.
And Trey, if I could shed a little more light on that, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, because we were the only person or entity on EDAP that had to be in our name and then for the city of Marfa. So we're essentially taking the debt from the state, but the city of Marfa is taking on the debt from us. So we're the lender for the city of Marfa.
Yep.
And then once the city of Marfa pays off the project, because the county owns the project, right, the facilities, until it's paid off. So it's like a mortgage, kind of like a mortgage. And then once the city of Marfa pays off the county will then convey out the project, the actual infrastructure to the city of Marfa once the loan is paid.
And the county will no longer have maintenance responsibility or anything like
Well,
that.
and I think the maintenance responsibilities are still in the city of Marfa.
Yes, it's all in that agreement.
Okay.
It's all in that agreement. It was just necessary to get an interlocal agreement in place, recognizing that the city's on the hook for this money.
Right.
Yeah.
And the county ostensibly owns the infrastructure until the loan is paid, so that the attorney general could approve unfortunately, the technical assistance providers didn't really recognize the reality that if you borrow money for infrastructure, you gotta own it.
Yeah.
And so we had to come through a lot of acrobatics to make that work.
Mhm.
And so, but this has been a learning experience, live and learn and live. And so we learned a lot through that. And, but that's how that worked out. And that's, the city's paying. And so until the infrastructure is completed and the loan is paid, the city will continue paying. Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it. Okay. So the EDAP team, which includes, Brock and Bustillos, Becky Brewster, and myself, we've been meeting every other week ever since, early 2024. To chart the progress on the water for Las Pampas, water for Shafter, water and wastewater for East Heights, and wastewater for Fort J. Russell in Marfa. Next slide, please. So, due to the special circumstances in Shafter, the decision was reached to separate out Shafter from the other projects. So the other projects were moving along, and then we were having trouble in Shafter identifying where to put the well, where to put the water tower. As you all know, Shafter is it's a very unusual place. And you have, the mining company that is not terribly responsive. You also have, lots of different people who don't want to pay for water. They want to continue receiving free water from the mine. You have people who want to have control over their destiny, control over their water. There's just a lot of different sort of both human and physical kind of infrastructural, geographical challenges. And so it looked like if we were waiting to catch the Shafter project up to all other projects, we were going to be here, a long time. So Water Development Board allowed us to separate out the Shafter project from the other EDAP projects to maintain momentum on those. And so as of now, the Shafter project has cleared category E, and the other projects have cleared category C. So quickly, a little bit of an explanation about categories. So Texas Water Development Board has 4 categories during the design process: A, B, C, and D. And so the A and B are really pretty much establishing the eligibility of a project, even though you've spent a year applying for this money and you've taken out the loan. They wait till after the loan is closed to decide whether you're eligible. So there's lots, they're real special over there at the Texas Water Development Board. So we established the eligibility. I'll go into that a little bit more when we're looking at the maps of the projects. And then category C is the pre-design, and category D is the final design. So all the other projects except for Shafter have passed category C. There's also an environmental assessment that has to happen. Those are nearing completion for the 3 projects, 2 in Marfa and for Las Pampas. And then we're just getting that started for Shafter. Next slide, please. So yeah, so I just kind of spoke a little bit ahead of myself. The Las Pampas and Marfa projects have cleared environmental assessment. Shafter's still undergoing environmental assessment. And to date, about $415,700 of $4.6 million have been spent. The majority of that money is going to go for construction, so you won't really see big amounts going out the door until we move into the construction phase for the 2 Marfa projects. But that was money that was amounts that were provided to me by the county auditor, who also really needs a special hats off thank you, because getting this money from the Water Development Board, you know, they say you have it, they say you've received it, but they hold on to it. And so you have to, every time invoices come in, a very complex outlay request has to be completed. And, you know, true to form, the Water Development Board is super communicative. And so, and it provides excellent guidance. And so she would submit things, and then the dollar amounts would come back and they didn't match the invoices. So she's had a lot of headache. She's had, I mean, she should buy stock in an ibuprofen company, because this is a very complicated, very complicated thing. And I think this is the time when I might mention and just sort of emphasize to people that, you know, when the county is going for grants, when the county is going for, you know, funding, it's one thing to get the funding, which is very difficult. It's another thing to manage the funding. And there needs to, a thought needs to be given to how, or once the funding is received, how is that going to be managed? And do we have the personnel in place to handle that? Because the county could find itself in getting into trouble if there's too much that's placed on the plate of the people that are already stretched to the max, and are not going to be able to keep up with all these requirements. And so I've been very focused on doing everything I can to make sure that everyone has what they need, keep morale high, so that we can execute these grants and get this done, because that's really the best chance that Presidio County has of continuing to receive this funding. And so, but I think there's not enough comprehension of what happens after you get the grant, as far as the workload and the frustration that county employees experience.
And Trey, can you clarify, you know, you're listed as the general manager of the Presidio County Underground Water Conservation District, but it is not
There's no connection.
That's
There's
right.
No connection. There's a lot of confusion about that.
Yeah.
But it's just me.
Yeah.
Doing this.
You're just doing this of your own personal volition.
Because I was hired. That's the program.
Right. Okay.
So, but this opportunity came to us, to the county, through the Groundwater Conservation District. Okay. But there's a lot of confusion. Yeah, the press, the newspaper, and the radio are always citing my title connected to this, but doesn't have anything to do with it. And the groundwater district didn't get any money out of this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, totally. So, next slide, please. Okay, so this is the Shafter project. It's, north is on the right side. I kind of turned it so that it would fit better. That line that's kind of going from the bottom right to the middle, top middle, that's the highway. The parcels in green are all eligible for EDAP funding, EDAP funded infrastructure. So, fun fact that isn't very clear from the title of the program, Environmentally Distressed Areas Program. An economically distressed areas program. When you think economically distressed, you think everybody's economically distressed. Businesses, residents, schools, everything is economically distressed. And in fact, if you're economically distressed, that means that your businesses are having difficulty functioning. But the Water Development Board only funds residences. So really, this should be the EDRAP, Economically Distressed Residential Areas Program, but no, it's EDAP. So, if there's any kind of an uninhabited residence, if there's a business, technically, none of this infrastructure can go to those places. But it's sort of an open secret that if you have an inhabited place on either side of your uninhabited property, the pipeline's gotta go by that uninhabited property, so eventually when it's inhabited, they can hook into. And so conveniently in Shafter, you'll look and see all these green properties are interspersed among uninhabited properties or commercial properties. So those will also benefit because the pipes will go past those buildings and eventually they will be able to hook in. So this is where we are right now. Those are the established eligible areas. We will begin with pre-design, or we're actually in the midst of pre-design right now. And I think I've got a slide about that a little bit later or something to talk about that. Yes, ma'am.
Are these already established, or say if a resident moves into one of the gray areas, could it be added after that?
It could be, but it's moved because this establishes what's eligible in order for the project to move forward. So the project will move forward. It will serve the whole town.
Right, I was
So-
thinking like, oh, it's too bad Cemetery Road, all those parcels aren't on it, but if someone, say, moved into that area, could that pipe be added there, or is it
Yeah.
already?
No, it could be added there. It could be
Okay.
added there. No, I mean, once this is built, then it's up to the water, it's up to the utility.
Utility board?
Well, the utility board or really just the Public Water Supply Corporation.
Okay.
And, about, who are we gonna serve now? How are we going to expand? But this is really just to kind of get the thing designed, get them to just prove it.
Yeah.
And so, so this is really the last thing that they approved, and so this is the current status. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so this is Las Pampas. That line there in the middle is the highway, and that roughly goes the pipe will roughly follow the highway. On the left-hand side, there is an existing standpipe. You all may be familiar with that. It's a little bit south of the airport on the east side of the highway. It says Junta de los Rios on it. That was built with NABBANK funding. And so the idea is to hook into that. And then if you kind of move along to the right, there is the first pump station. And that will then lift the water up the hill to the next pump station, which is further up, further over here to the right. Look it out to you. So this is the existing water tower. This will be the next pump station. This will be the next pump station. And then this will be where the water will be collected in a standpipe that will then gravity feed all of the residences. And there's another eligibility map that I didn't include, but it gives you it shows you, what all is eligible. This is all kind of eligible. This is not, and this is, but because the pipeline has to go through there, it's gonna look in.
So Trey, is that the existing pipeline that's in there right now on the east side of the highway?
This is the existing.
So you're adding,
And then we're gonna continue adding, and the engineers have selected these sites where there have to be pump stations to lift it up a hill. And then there'll be a water tower over here. The water tower is owned by Hunter JRW Holdings, the new owner of the Lely Ranch. And they have preliminarily agreed to donate that land. It's gonna be like a 50 by 50 foot parcel where the water tower will go. There'll be a 50 by 50 foot parcel here that's owned by a gentleman that I just identified. I'm gonna approach that person and see if they're willing to donate that parcel. And then we're still working on who owns this.
and is this all just gonna give water to the east side of the road? Or do y'all have a way of getting it to the west side of the road?
This is designed for both sides.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Okay, is this, just water supply, or does it include sewer?
just water.
Yeah.
Just water.
And where's the airport? Is it,
Right there.
okay. Oh,
Oh. okay.
Jesus God, it's smart.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of,
Thank you.
you can't really
Yeah,
see it. I'm
yeah.
standing closer
I
than
see.
you. and I can
Yeah,
see it.
yeah.
But I've just looked at these maps a million times.
Thank you.
Okay, next slide,
What,
please.
what was the trigger, and I know there's an elevation change. Do you have that number, what it was?
What do you mean?
Like what triggered a pump station at what elevation change?
The engineers have these formulas and they can determine sort of, what's the slope, and what's the pressure, how big is the pipe. So they plug in all these different variables into these formulas and then they kind of know where along the thing the pump station has to go. Another fun fact, they had other locations and I contacted those landowners and then the engineers came back and said, oh no, we don't need that anymore. But those landowners are still calling me and they're not very pleased. So yeah, this again, live and learn.
Yeah.
We've been learning through this process, but these are the final places where these pump stations will go. And then once the landowners are identified, I'm working with the county attorney to come up with whether it's a contract for sale or a deed, whatever the document is. I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it, but she knows and she's helping me. And we'll get all of those things done. We'll get the area surveyed. We'll get whatever the owner wants, as far as, maybe free water, or maybe, they want to be paid for the land, or maybe they just donate it. And then those parcels will be acquired. And then eventually when the funding is hopefully obtained, construct, all of those parcels will be in place.
So the water line will be in the right of way.
Of the highway, so yeah, so there's not any acquisition that has to happen
The
there.
lift stations will be placed on hopefully donated land.
Hopefully donated land, or we're
not.
not talking about a ton of money.
Yeah.
Even if they want us to buy it, we're not talking about a ton of money, and there's money in the EDAP grant to acquire. So, okay, cool, yeah, thank
As
you.
far as all been, as far as I've heard, people willing to just donate it, which is really awesome.
Three of the four, the one place in Shafter and the three places in Las Palmas. I'm pretty sure three of those will be donated, possibly the fourth, once we find the landowner. Which again, that's been such a process because there's just, the records are, what they are, and, so, yeah.
We could, if you're having a really,
Well, I've got John Kennedy doing it, and he knows how to do this stuff, and then he's gonna be doing the surveys, so.
I'm saying if you're having a big trouble on it, I can get a surveyor's abstract from a title company that states, certifies who the owner of the property is.
Okay.
It'll cost us a little bit of money. It's not very expensive.
Right.
But I can do that if you're really struggling to find.
Let's talk. Okay, let's talk, because that's that last one, it's that pump station one that's been pretty difficult.
Yeah.
It's sold, that land's sold so many times, and nobody really knows
Well, the
exactly.
problem is you could think you know who owns it, but then there's actually like 20 owners, and you don't know that until it's certified title. So
Just, the fun never ends, it's
Yes,
true,
I
yeah.
get that a lot, especially in Rudosa. I'm having a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
20 heirs owning a tiny piece of land. So yeah, anyways, let me know.
Okay, cool, yeah, we'll keep working, I'll keep bugging you. Okay, so now we're here at Fort D.A. Russell, and, this is the water system, I'm sorry, the wastewater system. And, up here at the top, these are all the residences, this is Old Officers Row. And then these are these old sheds. And this is the Chinati Foundation. Then there are other residences here that all qualify. All of this then will be gathered in this pipe, and we'll go up here and the sewage will then go into a manhole here on Madrid Street that is existing, and then we'll go to the water treatment plant. And some of the challenges with this project were working with Chinati Foundation. They were very accommodating, but I was really worried. There's going to be a lift station here because the elevation is such that you got to have something that's going to push the sewage up to where it can get into the existing sewage system. So there's going to have to be a lift station there, but it's going to be very low profile. And they were okay with that. And we're also hoping that construction can be coordinated with some other efforts that Chinati Foundation is going to be doing to open up this road and do some improvements, so we can kind of all do it at once. And then everybody here will get hooked up to the new sewage system. And the issue with the old system is that it was very large, because you had about 5,000 humans excreting in this area. And so you had a lot more flow, you had a lot more movement. And so now that you have so few people in this big pipe, there's no movement. And so when the waste would be gathering down here in the lower elevations, and there's another line a little bit further out, when you would have like a flood event and the water would go into these ungasketed manholes, then the flood waters would pull the sewage out on the ground. And so TCEQ has cited the city. Yeah, it's awesome. So TCEQ has cited the city of Marfa about this. So this was a big priority of the city, was to get this replaced.
So all the portions that are on Chinati, those are all privately owned land, right?
Well, so they're not residential, but they went on ahead and gave us a pass on the residential requirement because this lift station is necessary in order to work.
Right, I just mean the pumpstation of the lines are going on private property, so are we having to get an easement from Chinati to be out there, to put the pipe in? Or since it's on an existing pipe, we already have an existing easement?
I think there's an existing easement.
Okay.
Because we've talked about this, we've gone over this, and we don't have to get an easement.
Okay.
So there is an existing easement.
And same thing for the pump station, we don't have to get like another easement or anything from them, they're just like, come build.
Yeah, the lift stations, they don't have much of a footprint. Now, the lift stations will, but
Yeah.
those.
This is like a
small.
phone booth.
Yeah.
And underground. Yeah. So, So that's Fort Gay Russell. Next slide, please. Okay, yeah, so this is now, the wastewater for, this portion of East Heights. So this is Oak Tree, this is the railroad. And so, there'll be wastewater that'll be coming through here. And then the main trunk line goes along El Paso Street. Believe it or not, there's a street out there. And this, just for orientation, is the Tumble Inn. And so everybody will be able to hook into that, and then it will go under the railroad and hook up to a manhole that's there. So
This is water, supply, not sewage.
this is wastewater. This is
Oh, it's
wastewater.
always.
Okay, next slide, please. And then this is the water. So this will be a flush valve here. Typically, you want to build these things in a loop, but because of the requirements and the lack of residences over here and stuff, and just the way it's going to be constructed, you can't have a loop here. So this is kind of a loop that's hooking up to the existing system, but they have to send it out a little bit further to be able to flush it. So this will also require some boring under the railroad, and the engineers have already kind of started coordinating that. with, with Union Pacific. Next slide. Okay, yeah, so next step. So we're working on completing the category C for Shafter. This will involve land acquisition and water rights certification process. So after a series of misfires, we've now finally identified the place where we're going to put both the well and the water tower. And so we're moving forward with acquiring that land. The landowner's going to donate it, and getting that surveyed hopefully this week. The county attorney's working on the deed, and then once we have the deed and there's a form that has to be completed, and the Groundwater Conservation District also issued the necessary permits. Then the water rights certification process begins. So Shafter is different from the other projects because the Marfa projects are going to be supplied by City of Marfa, and the Las Pampas project will be supplied by City of Presidio. So there's no water source that has to be acquired. But in Shafter, we're building a new production well. And that well will probably be about 1,000 feet deep. It will be going into the Mina Grande aquifer, which is an unclassified aquifer. It's not a designated aquifer in the state, but it's what the mine currently has a well drilled into. And so, yeah, so we'll drill into that. But first, the Water Development Board has to do a water rights certification process, which involves those permits I mentioned from the Groundwater District and the land acquisition, and then this little form that you have to fill out. So getting all that going, we're going to be moving the project into category B after that. That'll be early next year, and that'll be kind of final design. Category C is pre-design, and so that's the story with Shafter. And then with Las Pampas, we'll be moving into the final design for that. We'll be completing the land acquisition, which is really making good progress after, just months and months and months of, I don't know, So hopefully that'll be coming together early next year. And then for the Marfa projects, we'll also complete final design category D. And those projects, because there is construction money in the grant, those will then move to the bidding and the construction phases, hopefully by the middle of next year.
When you say construction funding, there's no construction funding for Shafter?
The Water Development Board had originally offered 12.6 million because, and that 8 million was going to be for Las Pampas and Shafter, and those are going to be pricey. Las Pampas is going to be pricey because it's so long, and Shafter is going to be pretty pricey as well. You're going to have to lay all new pipes through, some kind of tough country. But then the Water Development Board people that I was dealing with were just confused and they didn't understand, and there were too many unknowns. And they said the county isn't a utility, and why are we going to give you that money? And so they took that 8 million from us, and that's why we only got 4.6. Part of the way to get the construction money in the future was for the county to create the Water Utilities Board, so that the county has some sort of an entity that is managing or is in some way coordinating all these little water supplies. And so that was what they were going to need at that point in time. That's what they said that they were going to need in order to for the county to qualify for construction money for these two projects. Now, who knows what else they're going to throw at the county when the county tries to get money from Water Development Board. And who knows, might be a good idea to go to NADBank or go, use this opportunity from the Agriculture, Department of Agriculture, the TDA, something like that, maybe, to move this along. But no, there's no construction money for those two things, for those reasons. Yes, sir.
My understanding, when they approved the money for doing the engineering study, was that the state virtually always, if they approve that, well then they approve the following.
The construction money.
Yes.
And we'll find out. We'll find out because we've been told a lot of things. So I just want everyone to understand that This is very, very complicated. And
Right.
we were told a lot of things by our technical assistance providers, by our grant writer, by the state, and many of those things turned out to not be true. So I just want people to be prepared. I don't wanna discourage people, but I also don't wanna, paint this rosy picture, because the picture's been anything but rosy up to now. And it's been very, very unrosy.
Mhm.
And it really is sort of it's a pity, because, there's a lot of rural areas that need help, and they don't have the personnel, they don't have the wherewithal to withstand this onerous, process. And so, I'm really pushing for reforms of that process, but, I don't have high hopes. So it just sort of becomes a thing where you just have to kind of just wrestle your way through it, work every connection you can to get what you need. And it isn't really about how can we make this work for everyone, even though they like to talk about that. Yes, ma'am.
Couple lines and questions. One comment is I'll just need the survey, or I can't do a deed without a survey.
I know.
Okay.
You said that
And
email.
then,
I got that email.
I know the plan for Martha is, the city of Martha's gonna take over those projects with Cynthia and the mall. I'm just doing the same thing for Presidio with, Los Plantas.
No.
Okay, and then Shafter, same thing, so the county's just gonna own the infrastructures forever?
Well, I mean, that's gotta be determined, because the county has done that in the past for, that's how Redford got its system, that's how Ruidoso got its system. The county got the money and
Yeah.
And so, Presidio has agreed to provide the water and the maintenance, but I don't really think they're on board to
Yeah, they're
Borrow.
probably not gonna keep that area.
pay money. Yeah, I mean, that's gotta be up to them.
Right.
And that's something, that's a bridge that we can cross when we get to it.
Okay.
But the main thing is really to just execute these grants properly, and in good faith, and do everything that the county has said that it will do, so that the Water Development Board will continue to consider us for future projects.
Okay.
As flawed as these projects are.
Yeah, and I know you being the guinea pig is not fun. And then the last question I had, we just had a constitutional amendment regarding,
The $1 billion in sales tax, yes.
do you see that impacting either any of these projects or our water infrastructure in the county at all?
Well, if
Do we
we
have any-
if we apply for it, but the process is gonna remain just as fun.
Yeah,
And just as intuitive, yeah.
Any water project is
Just as awesome. Well, no, getting the money.
Yeah.
And so, in fact, the Texas Water Foundation sent out a press release, and it included next steps, and it's the same, technical assistance providers are gonna give a ton of money to these people. And I don't think that's really the solution. I mean, the solution is to streamline the process.
Right.
And for the Water Development Board to provide the guidance, and to build real relationships with these communities. These projects take many, many, many years. It takes years to get the funding, it takes years to design the projects, it takes years to build the projects. So you would think that there would be an emphasis on building relationships with those communities. There's no emphasis on that. And so I don't really think we're gonna solve these problems the way that it's set up right now, but nobody's asking me. And so again, I think it just kind of becomes where each entity just has to tough it out and just do whatever it takes to get their own needs met, whether it's by hiring the right technical assistance providers or hiring the right engineers who know the ins and outs, and then hopefully being successful.
Do you know if that will be run like a grant program similarly?
It'll be just like this.
Right.
It'll
Okay,
be
is the water
all,
development board?
it'll be all the same things, be all the same hoops, it'll be all the same forms, it'll be all the same. They're not gonna change a thing.
Cool.
Isn't it awesome? It's great. Yeah.
So in that funding,
The success rate, I think, is gonna be amazing.
and the funding will either be through, you said NADBank, TDA, or possibly Texas Water Development.
No, that $1 million will be exclusively water development.
Okay.
It's $1
So
million.
do you have a ballpark figure on what it would cost for the Shafter well and for the Las Pampas
I mean, based on what we had originally asked for, about 8 million.
8 million?
I mean, back then, that's not what it was.
Okay.
So, I mean, those costs have probably gone up. But, that's kind of ballpark, that would be my figure. Yes, ma'am.
Can I have a couple questions? Real quick, the name of the aquifer,
Mina Grande,
say it again?
MINA,
Uh-huh,
and then, Grande. like
Grande. Okay, and you said it's the same one as the mine uses?
Yes.
1,000 feet deep. What kind of aquifer is it?
Freshwater.
Fresh water? Okay, and does Presidio County underground water,
I know, it's rolling off the sun, yeah.
do you all have to give permission as to how many feet can be pumped out by this well?
Yeah, and we already gave it to you.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, 80 acre feet,
80?
80 acre feet.
Okay, and then what about the mine? If the mine should ever open again, start mining, we would be sharing the same well. Would your group also have to give them the amount of, water acre feet, whatever it is that you said to them as to how much they could pump out also?
Well, they're not responding, so we don't really have a relationship with them. So if they should get a pulse, then, yeah, we'll be doing business with them. But really, the idea is that the Public Water Supply Corporation will have its own well, and will have its own system that will supply the town, and then the mine can hook up into that, or the mine can do its own thing. But there's no way to know what the mine is doing, because the mine they're not around. Yes, sir.
We've got another complication. As y'all may know, John Poindexter has bought most of the properties in the north end of Shafter. And we have so far, the Water Supply Board has invited his representatives to be at our meetings. But so far, we've not been able to get a commitment whether they're gonna participate or not. And I have heard from people who prefer not to be identified, that he's planning on drilling a 1,000-foot well just north of where we're planning to drill our well, and have his own water supply system for his properties there on the north end of town. And can we do anything about that, or?
There's no need. You don't have your well. You're gonna have your system. So whatever another property owner decides to do, it doesn't affect you, because you have your own well and you have your own system.
Well, it's gonna affect the number of hookups, because a number of the hookups on the north end of town have sold out and now belong to Mr. Poindexter or his foundation.
Well, I've been in touch with them, and they're not gonna oppose anything that the county's doing as far as building this water system. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, I mean, I've been, my approach has just been full steam ahead. You can't control what other people are gonna do. You can't control.
We have no legal recourse.
There's no.
I don't see what the issue would be.
legal recourse.
He cannot supply, water to more than 15 residents.
Okay.
Without, being a public water supply.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this one-on-one. Don't waste your time.
Right.
Yeah. Don't waste your time. Just continue to communicate with them and continue to move forward with the Water Supply Corporation. That's all I would say. Just full steam ahead, because you can't control what other people are going to do. So, and I think you waste time, definitely wasted a lot of my time with that TCEQ violation or that TCEQ report, dealing with, all this altercations between y'all. I mean, there's no energy for the drama, so you just continue moving forward with your public water supply. I need that $200 fee from y'all for your permits. And then we'll just keep on keeping on. That's what I would say.
I think I'm also struggling to see what.
Well, I think there's just people who are getting mad because they're not communicating with each other.
Trey, I have a process question.
Yeah.
It seems to me that you had a real team to navigate through this EDAP process. You had a grant administrator.
Oh, yeah.
You had, you hired, specialists for design and all that
Engineer.
stuff. How did that work well for you? Because we're about to look at that on the agenda for a TDA grant. And do you feel, because you've already identified, we at the county we don't have the personnel to manage grants like this, you know? So I'm just interested in knowing how
You
that
always
was
have to
for you.
hire engineers.
Right,
And then, yeah, a grant administrator is a good idea.
right,
And then a program manager is a good idea to
Right.
like keep the thing moving
Okay.
forward and
Okay.
hurt all the cats.
right,
That's pretty much how it's always done.
okay,
But then you also have to think about the county side, the in-house of what the burden it's gonna be on, people like Alicia, and having to manage those things. Because you can hire outside grant writers that are supposed to bring in money, you can hire all this money that comes in, there's an in-house component. And attention needs to be paid to that.
Okay.
Because then, if you don't pay attention to that, and you're bringing in all this money, and it's not being managed properly, county gets in trouble.
Right. Okay.
It ends up costing more, and you don't get anything done.
Okay.
And so that was one of the takeaways I definitely wanted to leave y'all with today, is don't just, people are gonna come and wag all kinds of money in your face.
Right.
And say, oh, it's gonna be so easy, and they're throwing it out the window, they can't wait to get rid of it. This is all the BS I heard, and it's not true. It's not true. And once you get the money, after the struggle and the blood and the sweat and the tears, once you get the money, there is an in-house management component which you have to deal with, whether it's requesting with these idiotic outlay requests,
Right.
or a million times you got to go over the budget. Oh, this is $5 off. This is 7 cents off. They're coming after you. Who are they coming after? They're coming after Alicia.
Right.
They're coming after our internal people that have to do that work. And so all these people on the outside that are coming to you, oh, we'll get you the grants. Oh, all these entities that are saying, these funders are saying, oh, we can't wait to help you. Your border, your economically distressed, your majority Hispanic, all the boxes that we supposedly tick. Don't believe it. There's a lot of work involved, and a lot of that is in-house. And so if you're not ready, we lost that 15 million because we didn't have the in-house capacity to do our audits.
Right.
And so no matter how much money people wag in your face, you have to have your internal systems tight to be able to receive that money, effectively manage that money, and not get yourselves into trouble because you're not doing things that have to be done.
I have one final question, because I'm dealing with this right now. Our Colonia's got money for arsenic remediation.
Okay.
And we've been working on that project for years now. We think we have a solution, but it's a matter of the people where we will put this arsenic remediation device at their homes.
Yeah.
They don't want it.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, when you were going through EDAP and all that, did you have to reach out to the public and see what they want?
We did.
Okay, that's
What
my
happened
question.
Was, we put together that preliminary pre-application that happened in, less than a week.
Right.
And then we started refining it by creating a steering committee. And it was about 38 people
Right.
from all over the county.
I went to a couple of.
You can go through those, and we came up with that list of projects that the 15 million was supposed to fund. That's why it was just so awesome when they took that away from us right before Christmas, because it was a community defined effort. It wasn't some big utility. It wasn't some big city that's just going to turn around to something next year. No,
Right.
it was it was painstakingly hammered out by dozens and dozens of people at many meetings. And so these projects came from the people. That arsenic removal project, not sure where that came from. I think that was like Communities Uninterested or something.
Yeah.
And so I think you really, you also run the risk where you have these community efforts, these community-driven efforts, and then they get defunded or the funding gets taken away. You know, the process loses credibility.
It does.
And so, but again, there wasn't any one at Water Development Board. You know, they had been ghosting us for weeks, for months.
Uh-huh.
So there wasn't anyone there to try to help them understand, A, that we're one of the better counties out here as far as having our audits done.
Uh-huh.
And B, this is gonna have a huge negative impact on our relationship moving forward with all of these communities.
Right.
And so, but again, I mean, the Water Development Board, they're just, it's their way or the highway, and their highway isn't always very smart.
Right.
And so, no, you can throw trillions of dollars at that agency,
right,
but unless they streamline their process and work on building relationships with communities and not be so technical assistance heavy, but instead have a process that anyone can approach, you're never going to solve these problems because communities are just going to walk away. I went to a water workshop right at the beginning of this. I'm going on 5 years working on this stuff. Now I went to a water workshop and there were people there from the valley and they're like, oh, we don't need water. I thought, but they're throwing money out the window. Well, now I know why they don't work. And a lot of communities aren't going to work with them because it's just too hard.
right. And Trey, didn't you, you received an earmark from, Tony Gonzalez and
Yes.
stuff?
Yes.
And that process was gonna have to be funded through a TDA grant? Texas
So
Department.
what that was the, again, awesome advice from our technical assistance providers. They said, hey, what you want to do is you just get the match with an earmark.
Uh-huh.
And so I applied, and the application process was just a barrel of laughs. And I got, phone calls at 11 midnight, 11 p.m. midnight when it was going to appropriations. And then we got the $1 million, but nobody told us until the congressman ran an ad in the newspaper saying that he had gotten $1 million for the groundwater district.
Uh-huh.
And so then nothing. And I contacted them, hey, where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? Nothing. And then finally they referred me to someone at the USDA.
Yeah.
And then she said, well, I can't answer any of your questions until you complete the RD apply interface and upload all your documents. And so poor Carrie and I were like trying to get that thing set up. We finally got it set up. I got everything just the way they like it. Got it all uploaded. And they said, oh no, we're not gonna fund this. You have to reapply.
Yeah.
For a grant.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just sort of like Water Development Board, but at the federal level. And so, I spent about 2 years on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the staff at the congressman's office said, oh, well, we misunderstood. I said, this is a match. All I want is a match. And that's what I asked for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what this is. And they said, oh, well, I'm sorry there was a misunderstanding. But anyway, so that's what happened. So that money's sitting there. If somebody wants to go apply for it again, I'm not doing that though.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you so much
think,
for updating.
I think, Trey, you had great advice, which is, and Trey and I've had these conversations before. This is a very difficult process. And at any point you can trip, stumble, and they won't help you back up. You're going to stay down. So congratulations to getting to this point. And here's what I will say to the Shafter community. The best news I can give you is there is going to be a lot of money. The best news I can give you is you guys are going to have what they call a shovel-ready project. So you'll have all those I's and T's are dotted. You're done with this. Hopefully there'll be monies and there'll be a streamlined process, or there'll be a mechanism for us to be on the lookout for it. And if it does come up, well, you guys are ready. You have everything. Again, that doesn't mean you'll get it. Don't spend all your emotional energy like the mine. If they're not going to answer you, they're under new ownership. They may or may not. But don't waste your time there, or with the foundation, or what if this happens, or what if this happens. All you can do is control what you guys are trying to accomplish and get to the end of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback on that you just reminded me on, and Trey, please tell me, or but if I'm wrong, I think the answer to, your question on the mine, taking money, or taking water, they already have a,
Public water supply.
yeah, they already have a pre-existing, water well. And the underground water conservation district only deals with permitting on new wells. And so there's nothing they can do to stop them from taking water out of their existing well.
But there's plenty of water, so.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a concern, but
No,
there's,
there's plenty of water. It's not like, it would just be a pity if people can't work together. But I mean, if the foundation's not answering your questions, then there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to keep on trucking and don't waste time wondering what they're gonna do, or, how can we stop them? You're not gonna stop anybody.
I just want to clarify that pre-existing wells can't, as a county or as a government, we can't go to people that already have water wells and say you can't use this. It's not.
Right.
It's already their private property, their right to use it.
Right.
It is only permitting of new water wells that the underground water conservation district, reviews those permits.
And y'all have the permits. We did it in November.
Right.
And we gave y'all that special 10-year solidity period. They're usually only for 1 year. And so that gives the county time to get the construction money, get the well drilled, get the infrastructure in place. And so, yeah.
What is this $200? I keep seeing in emails and hearing.
It's a fee. It's the fee for the drilling permit application, and it's the fee for the operating permit.
Why haven't we turned it in?
I got the check.
Right now? Okay.
Thank
Any other questions?
you, Trey.
Okay, take off.
Hey, Trey, this is John Kennedy. I'll get with you after this, and we got good progress on all the land acquisition. Thank you for your presentation.
Thanks, John.
Okay.
He's trying to get money out of the water supply right now, John.
What's up, John?
First things first, no, just thank you. And everything is moving along great as far as the land acquisition. We got the puzzle, the Survey 35 unlocked, and thank you. I really appreciate seeing how it's been such a long effort, and we're going to get it over the finish line now.
Yeah. So is that for Pump Station 1?
Yes, and we're in luck that the owner from the other one looks to be the same on both, and like you inferred, he's going to be willing to donate the property. So I'll get with you.
Okay, I'm calling you like tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, John.
Good luck, Trey. So we'll move on to agenda item number 8. Does anybody need a break? It's 11:15. Is everybody good? Let me go ahead and take a quick recess. It's 11:15 a.m. 10:26 a.m. and we are back in session. Pay no attention to the code, I'm just cold. So, but we'll move back. We had left off, we had, just finished up the presentation from Trey. Thank you for that. And we'll move on to agenda item number 8, discussion with action to accept the second amended and restated interlocal and partnership agreement by and between the chief elected officers of the Borderplex Workforce Development Area and Workforce Solutions Borderplex.
Joe, can you give us some background on this? Because I believe you've worked a lot with workforce development.
Yes.
I'm especially interested in is the county judge the point of contact with that?
They do, and it's a very large board.
Right, I saw that.
And they operate very independently. As a matter of fact, most of their operations are in the El Paso area.
Right.
The only footprint they have here is the workforce solution that they help us with in Presidio. We're going to be working with them. I know that Ms. Sanchez discussed the EDAP, the NACO grant.
Yes.
So now the thing is, we're moving into a place where we'll have someone that is going to go directly to the railroad and say, how many jobs is this going to create? And what kind of positions and what kind of certifications do they require? And then we're going to work in lockstep with the workforce to get that done.
Okay.
So,
Number 8.
Yeah, number 8, Scotty, this is just something we already had in place, and they had to change.
To redo it every couple of years, every 2 years. But I've been to the meetings as well. They've also helped. There's with the school attached to the school, 2 in-home daycares.
Which school?
In Presidio.
Okay.
The city of Presidio.
Okay.
Yeah, they also are. I've given them the information for the school here, just to to get kids on board with jobs and stuff like that. That's what they're mainly do. The veterans, they work with getting veterans jobs too that are suitable for them.
Okay.
So yeah, they're very.
So yeah, like in the city of Presidio uses them every summer. They hire all the lifeguards, come from the workforce, from Borderplex Workforce Development. Usually the city hall, you'll see 2 or 3 young ladies working there. You'll see a couple of guys working for Public Works. They don't let them do anything with heavy machinery, but they'll go help out.
We had 2 with the police department, 2 young girls and
yeah.
So I guess my question would be, since we are Presidio County, all of that is very Presidio centric. Is that because the city of Marfa has not gotten involved? So it would take the city of Marfa reaching into whatever this organization is in order to, and the reason I ask this, I think, Joe, you know that I'm in communication with Open Origin quite a bit. And if they do come, they're going to need some workforce development as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
For whatever reason, just to answer that, Presidio, the city of Presidio isn't itself on here. It's all the counties. So Hudson County, Fulton County, El Paso County, Brewster County. They're doing this agreement on county basis, not on city basis.
That's why
it's not unique to
right. I read this, and then I just wanted to know what the projects were, because I'd like to see it balanced a little more to make sure that if we need to help the city of Marfa to understand that this is available to them. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
they were. We had when we had an EM. Again, this is all stuff. I took advantage of Borderplex when I was still city administrator, but this is the one, and I know I've discussed it before, where we went and got. They did scholarships for 6 high school. They were seniors at the time that had an interest in EMS,
right.
Or in the medical field. and Workforce sponsored their certifications. It cost a couple of $1,000s each. And we still have 2 of those EMTs working for us. With Presidio. I think 1 or 2 of them are actually in Alpine working as EMTs. So they're still chugging along. Of the 6, I think 5 are at least certified EMTs, and we have a couple that have already risen to the ranks of paramedics.
Cool.
So it's a great thing to take advantage of. And they pretty much, I don't know that they've ever said no.
Got it. Okay. Wasn't Ramon, was he part of that
He
when
was.
you hired him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah, he was my assistant for I think 6 months.
Right.
So
Well, I'd like to make a motion,
Yeah.
unless there's more discussion.
no,
I'd like to move that we accept the second amended and restated interlocal and partnership agreement by and between the chief elected officials of the Borderplex Workforce Development Area and Workforce Solutions Borderplex.
I'll second.
I have a motion. I have a second by Commissioner Ortiz. All in favor?
Aye.
And then I know it's gonna get a little 9 through 13 or just a little convoluted. And all of them apply to, they're the same thing. And I hope we got it right. But they're all, it goes back to the Colonia grant.
Right.
And what this is. So number 9 is discussion with action to allow the county judge to apply for the 2026 Community Development Block Grant.
You wanted to speak on that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the Texas Texas CDBG Colonia Fund for 2026, as you know, it's a construction program and it's to improve basic infrastructure in Colonia communities to benefit low to moderate income residents. On your drive, you have the guideline from TDA.
Mm-hmm.
There's key dates. It opened up in October 23rd, 2025. We'll need a resolution and application. There's a deadline for that, so January 8th, 2026. The county will have to have a public hearing if all goes through right, February 27th, 2026. The funding is for $1 million. No match is required from the parent from the county, and it will be applied online through the TDA.gov. The applicants are counties within 150 miles of the Texas-Mexico border. Must have participated in the 2022 Colonia Planning and Needs Assessment, which the county did. And the project areas must meet the Colonia definition of unappropriated existing fee. And there's a bunch of things in there: lacks water, sewer, safe housing. There's eligible activities: water system improvements, sewer system improvements, house and rehabilitation, street improvements, drainage, sidewalks, community facilities, and obviously the grant administration and engineering department.
Okay. So I guess one of my questions is, I understand with this application that we need to identify a list on page 6. We need to identify a list of 10 to 15
Project.
community needs.
Yes, that one, this process, we do an RFQ and an RFP. The RFP will be qualified engineers or architects. Then the county will talk to them, and between all of these, will come up with whatever needs are.
So that list happens before we have a public meeting.
Yes.
So we're expecting these engineers and those of us that are involved to come up with a list.
Well, once you get the engineer, you'll probably work with you assessing the needs of the county, that will align with the grant, and we'll come up with the list.
Okay. Then I also had a question, on page 4. I guess that actually the city of Presidio and the city of Marfa are not eligible because they are not unincorporated.
Correct.
I saw that they listed that we have 9 colonias in Presidio County.
Yes.
So I know.
Yeah. Here's again, you have the city of Presidio and the city of Marfa, but there could be, and again, these are all to be answered.
Right.
You have to look at the definition. but it could be that there's areas in the ETJ of Marfa and Presidio that are not part of the city limits that could qualify.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yes.
So that's where the 9 came up, was
I'm
like
sure.
Sauce Puedes and
I'm
Marfa
sure,
and,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then you have, and then one of the big things is a scoring system for this. And then it has all the counties that are eligible. And I'm looking, there's probably, and these are all familiar to a lot of you guys. But you look at El Paso, you have Cameron, San Patricio, Maverick, Webb, Duval, and you look at their total scores, and they're very low right now.
Right.
In the zeros all the way up to 17,000. And that's a scoring metrics that they use to determine if they're going to give you funding. But you can see under prior funding, those already got projects in the last cycle.
Right.
So we currently sit at 50,000 point.
Right. I see that.
So we would score very high. We'd be in the top, tied for 3, somewhere around there. So we'd have a good shot at getting it. It's no guarantee.
Right.
And I'm looking at some of the sample projects that they've done that they approved, like this. Streets in the sample colonia are deteriorated. Reconstruct roads in the downtown area and residential neighborhoods. Sidewalks in the sample colonia area are deteriorated and unsafe. Well, our colonias don't even have sidewalks, but
right.
Poor drainage leads to flooding and deteriorating infrastructure in the sample colonia. Commissioner Hernandez and I were talking about that, some of the things, and this one is install drainage features to direct stormwater away from buildings and infrastructure. I know Frankie's online as well, and we discussed, I think Monday, we discussed a little bit about some of the things that he was thinking about. You got the sample colonia lacks a facility for community programs and local events. You can construct a community center.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this would all be how far now, when you're talking $1 million, it sounds good, but we really won't go that far.
Right.
Should we focus on maybe each precinct that has a colonia, bring something forward, and then break it all apart? And then what would give us, again, relying on the engineer to tell us what do you think would score higher,
right,
and that we could realistically get done.
Well, and I'd like to direct the court to, on page 17, there is a category for code enforcement.
Okay.
We already have an ordinance on the books.
Yes.
This comes up over and over and over again, that the reason that we can't enforce is because we do not have a code enforcement officer.
Okay.
And so I would hope the court would see the value in that, because that would truly be something that can benefit the entire county. So just throwing that out there. I did review this pretty extensively.
So you'd be in favor of having a code enforcement
officer? Yeah. Wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, I'm getting calls, Joe, that are just like, how do we clean this up? I think Mayor Ferguson has come into our court down at the annex and asked for help. I drive around enough and see, so I think that is going to be a good priority. And once again, as I stated to Trey, I want us to be real cautious on thinking that we have all the answers in this court, that we got good funding for arsenic remediation. And right now, Rio Doce and Candelaria are just not wanting to go. So I don't want us to think that we can force feed our community into we know best and this is what we need. So I was glad when Alicia mentioned that there is a public meeting component of this. Okay.
So is there? Yeah, and I
look at it harder, but it looks like what it's referring to is that part of the grant can be used for the salaries and overhead costs.
Right.
Higher.
Right. That's exactly what I looked at.
And that's where your grant manager will
Right.
And just so y'all know, your code enforcement person might have to be under my office because I already understand that.
We talked about this,
Yeah.
Blair, before you and I got elected. When, the former, county attorney, I actually had a conversation with Sheriff Dominguez. He wants nothing to do with
That's
it.
what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So then the code enforcement would have to fall under my office.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of illegal dumping in the tires, trash.
right.
Well, and just, and I'm sure you're referring to some of the things on your way into Presidio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's, number one, it's an eyesore.
Oh, yeah.
You have trailer homes that are uninhabitable.
Right.
Some of them have broken in half. You have trucks, buses, cars that have been wrecked, damaged. They're obviously, they meet the definition of abandoned.
Right.
They haven't been registered in years, and there's no plans to get it done. It's just unsightly. And even now with the growth in the Transmigrantes, if you guys haven't driven through there lately, I don't know how many vehicles there are out there right now.
See,
10,000.
Starting to look like.
Sometimes if I don't get down into Presidio early enough, I get behind that line and it's crazy. But I don't want to take up too much time with this. I just wanted to mention we should consider that possibility. I think it would be really good and it would be a way of taking care of the entire county. So,
And there's no way to use SB 22 money, is there?
No, not important.
Not at all.
no.
And also, going back to the discussion item, the grant application was submitted by the county judge. I just forgot to upload it to the drive, but he has a copy right there. I don't need copies.
I don't know if you guys want to see it.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that.
I sent it to the email.
Oh, so.
What was it?
The grant form?
Oh, no, you're talking about, the request?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I'm back to item
Yes.
Okay.
So we, obviously we'd have a short window. I know I brought something that I was going to show you.
It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be real tight. Joe, how did we, did they said that they released this grant October 23rd.
I didn't see it. I got my first copy in an email somewhere around mid-November.
Okay.
So I didn't see it when it came out in October. And again, these are things that sometimes they just pop up. And I know that one of our frustrations is the window is so small.
Right.
And but I think I think it's worth it at least to take a swing at it.
Yeah, I was just bummed because
this is a timeline for year 26.
Right. I was just bummed because they had an application webinar on November 19th.
And I think they're recorded, so you can go back and look at it.
Okay, I will look at that. Okay, well, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
I move that we approve to allow the county judge to apply for the 2026. You got a question, David?
Well, I have a question about the process. I think it does, I think that you can, I think actually has more to do with this.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we allow the county judge to apply for the 2026 Community Development Block Grant.
Second.
I have a motion, second, all in favor?
Aye. David, is your question, now that we've approved to move forward, is it appropriate for your question now, or are you looking at all
The
the?
question is, so we have an engineering firm has to be appointed or has to be qualified or to be awarded.
Right.
To be part of the committee that decides what the list is. Right now, you're advocating for code enforcement. The judge says he spoke before the meeting to Frankie Ortiz and to Commissioner Hernandez about water flooding projects. Which I want to clarify, you talked to both of them about that before the meeting. You said it yourself?
I did.
Are you talking about a walking forum?
I'm talking about open meetings.
Okay.
But I just want to make sure that we have to That's the process. So before you can move forward with the application, you still have to go with the engineering to get the engineering firm to help get the list together. I'm not sure, because
To help,
apply for the block grant, but before you can apply, you have to have the list. Is this right?
See, that's where I am tripping up.
The RFP will, once you get your engineers, I'm sure that we'll have to have a list of projects. I don't know, this is very time limited.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know if they already have projects in mind that they can talk to the engineers for, or the engineers will help them figure out the project.
yes, that's exactly what will happen.
Yes.
They will come and they will say, they're gonna read between the lines on the scoring. So if a roadway is gonna give us a 10 points, but a water project would give us 50 points, well, you're taking a calculated risk. So all this will be done. Now, these engineers actually have to be certified. They have to be recognized and certified by CDBG.
Yes.
And the people that manage the Colonia grant. So we can't just go pick anybody. It's gonna come from, they have to.
That's
I
included in the
submitted.
packet. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But David, to
So
get to
my thing-
your,
My thing, I'm almost done.
okay,
My thing is amongst the commissioners court, I believe every commissioner has a Colonia. Is this something, do you guys have an appetite to say, well, you know what, let's split it evenly amongst the four commissioners and determine where they could stretch $250,000 of grant monies? Maybe it is a stormwater project for Redford. Maybe it's rehabilitation in Candelaria. Maybe it's a bridge over Cibola Creek in Shafter. Again, those are just ideas. But in discussions with the engineer saying, I'm sure they're going to work with us and tell us, this is where I think you'd be most successful.
but I want to get back to David's question. If you look at page 6 on the whole application process, CDA identified the TXCDBG.
Can y'all fix the speaker, please?
Can you hear me?
Hello? Can you fix the speaker, please? I can't hear you. Oh. Oh. I can't hear you. There's a lot of static. Am I?
Yeah, it's internet, it's not something that.
I can hear you there.
You can hear now?
Yeah, but I can't see you.
Well, that's probably better.
Yeah, it's the internet, Frankie.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're on number 10, discussion with action to approve a request for RFQ documents for the procurement of an engineer for the 2026 community development plan.
So I submitted a packet, an RFQ packet, you give me one moment, I'll pull up my notes.
We're looking at the RFQ right now.
I got it. And again, I'll just emphasize, this is, we can post this and we can get 0 responses. We could have 100 engineers look at this and say, I want to work with Presidio. They're
Okay, can everybody online, can you hear us, Frankie? I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am. I can.
Okay, there, we're back.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on agenda item number 10, and I'd like to make a motion that we approve requests for qualification RFQ documents for the procurement of an engineer for 2026 Community Development Block Grant CDBG application.
I'll second.
I think Buddy already did it.
Second by Commissioner Knight, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry. Aye.
Agenda item number 11, discussion with action to approve the procurement of a grant administrator for a 2026 Community Development Block Grant application using the Texas Department of Agriculture pre-qualified grant administrator process.
I should have removed the pre-qualified, because the TDA removed pre-qualified, processes in 2023. But you will be approved, so we have a list of grant administrators, and they'll be taking care of that. You don't need to do the pre-qualified process, we can contact them directly from the list I submitted to you guys. And the grant administrator will manage, all the grants, all the grant process. So they'll manage the grant, they'll manage the budget and any other requirement, even auditing purposes requirements.
So is this the RFP, right?
This is the RFP.
Okay. And have we not had experience with this, and isn't it typically Becky Brewster or whatever?
She's one.
She's one of them that has done it.
Qualified.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question. I'm before we get into this, I'm piggybacking off of Mr. Beebe and also what you said, Commissioner Heisler. You made the comment. I'm just summarizing number 10, making sure I'm understanding this. You made the comment, Commissioner Heisler, that you would hate for the commissioners to think that they know what's best for communities.
Right.
And that And then piggyback from what Mr. Beebe as to a list of the needs of the communities. So what was the decision about how the list will be made? But I didn't understand how that list will be made.
The engineer, once an engineer is selected, we'll come back together and he will help us form a list.
So there will be input.
No,
from
I
the
think we have to have that list before, Joe.
There'll be a hearing.
The public hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you guys, I mean.
Because we have that group that, Mr. Gerbers had mentioned that was formed. I keep going back to that one, to get in to the grant monies, we had to form this group, water board within the county with 2 representatives from each colonia. It's still in place as far as I know. Would that not be a venue to go to hear from each of the colonias, maybe? What is needed?
So Julia, I can only speak for myself as a commissioner. It's a tight timeline. What I plan on doing is reaching into people within my precinct
Okay.
and finding out what, we have this grant before us. Can you give me some suggestions?
Okay.
And one of the things would be going to the steering committee,
Gotcha.
you know? But, you know, as Joe pointed out, he didn't learn this grant till mid-November. And this is the thing I hate about all this. We should not let money drive our process. These grants come up every year. And it'd be nice for us to have the foresight to have our own public meetings way before they get announced. But I myself am a brand new commissioner. I'm learning through the process, but that's my intent. Does that answer your question? David, did you have a question?
Well, I just wanted to clarify that the judge already met 2 commissioners before the meeting to identify some needs. And Jennifer brought her own meeting and Commissioner Knight said nothing. What we have, we have something trying to go forward with the input of nobody except for an open meetings violation by the judge with the 2 commissioners prior to the meeting. So I'll just point that out in the public forum and everybody here recognizes that is actually what occurred today.
So noted.
Thanks,
Let's go back to number 11, discussion with action to approve the procurement of a grant administrator for 2026 Community Development Block Grant application using the TDA grant administrator process. You're saying, hopefully everybody that throws their name in the hat to be an engineer, if we get anybody.
Right.
They already should know they need to be on this.
Yeah.
But we can go back and verify.
Yes, so what my office will do is send out the RFP to as many as at least 5 grant administrators, and then anybody else that submits their RFP.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is RFP is just for the grant administrator. The engineers are with the RFQ, correct? Okay. So with trepidation, because we're under such a tight timeline, I'm going to move that we approve procurement of a grant administrator for the 2026 Community Development Block Grant CDBG application using the Texas Department of Agriculture. And I'm stopping there.
Okay.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second by Commissioner Hernandez. All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item number 12, discussion with action to approve a resolution. And I believe that's in your drive.
No, it wasn't.
Was it not?
Did you put it in the drive? When?
Yes, the resolution's in there, not?
When?
I got it.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard resolution.
Well, it's the same one out of the application process, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So a discussion with action to approve a resolution for the 2026 Colonia Fund, Texas Department of Agriculture. Oh, sorry. Discussion with action to appoint, no, that's it. 4. Well,
Carrie, do you have a hard copy of that?
I think I have one here.
Okay.
No.
Alicia made it. Oh, you didn't?
Number 12.
Why does yours look all crazy? Oh. Oh, there you go. No, why is yours so, hold on, let me see.
But you just added it this morning, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need, because I had
Okay,
a note.
This is, but it's not changed, but what's in your drive is where I changed everything.
Okay,
But I tried to print it, but it's saying.
right, right. I will, move that we approve the resolution for the 2026 Colonia Fund, Texas Department of Agriculture. And do I get rid of not pre-qualified? Great.
Well, the grant is pre-qualified.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Frank, was that an aye?
Yes.
Okay. And
Hard to hear.
right at the tail end, discussion, number 13, discussion with action to appoint an evaluations team for the 2026 Community Development Block Grant, administrator and engineer solicitations.
Yes, sir. So once you receive, if we receive any RFQs and RFPs, you'll need to evaluate them. So you have to have a committee do that. So my suggested committee, if I may, would be a commissioner from, down south. I recommend Commissioner Ortiz and our Commissioner, Heisler, and an employee, and I suggested Bianca Baino from Road and Bridge to be part of that, committee to review both the RFP and the RFQ.
Okay.
So it's an evaluation team of 3.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint evaluation team members, Commissioner Frankie Ortiz, Commissioner Deirdre Heisler, and Road and Bridge employee Bianca Bayon, for the 2026 Community Development Block Grant Administrator and Engineer solicitations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was relatively easy.
So agenda item number 14, discussion with action to adopt a county constitutional court confidentiality policy and agreement.
Judge, this was just something that I did run into on my, court assistance, tax page. I did see them talking about it. It was something that they have to,
You have to have in
almost
place.
the county still adopting it. So I went ahead, I ran it by our county attorney, and she was so much effort.
Yeah.
And we're good.
Yeah.
This is just.
So-
It's basically where it is now as of a couple of years ago, it was statutorily required for all constitutional courts, which includes county courts, to have a, confidentiality policy that is signed by all of its employees, that basically says as an employee of this court, you're going to be exposed to and subject to many confidential documents and information and discussions, and have those people sign a document basically agreeing to state, keep those that confidential information confidential and not to disclose it. We have not, as a county, we have not entered into a policy like this. It is statutorily required. County was good enough to go find a great form. I believe that it's promulgated by TAC. And I made very, very minor changes to it, nothing substantive. But it is, again, it's just a 2-page form that every person who works for the county court, which at this point I think is only Covina, will need to sign this document as part of their employment underneath.
So only Covina, not the commissioners and the judge?
No, this is the court. Like, this is for county court.
Oh, gotcha.
So, when the judge has
Gotcha,
court in session,
gotcha.
most things that a county court does are public information, right, documents, but there are a lot of times, the judge has to go into judge's chambers to have discussions with other attorneys or review private sealed documents under camera, or, there are certain circumstances in which the court does handle very confidential information. That is the information that is being covered by this policy.
Thank you.
No.
I move we adopt.
It's very important for the juvenile stuff. My
Okay.
juvenile court stuff is very, very confidential. And when I'm dealing with minor children, victims, all that information is extremely confidential, so that also falls under this.
I move we approve the county constitutional court confidentiality policy and agreement.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for tackling that. Agenda item number 15, discussion with action to approve grant manual for policies and procedures in accordance with 2 CFR 200. This will establish uniform administrative requirements, cost principles, and audit requirements for federal awards and non-federal entity awards.
Yes, sir. So just for, as an FYI, CFR stands for Code of Federal Regulations. In our previous single audit for fiscal year 2023, one of the findings was that the county does not have a satisfactory grant manual. We do have a very minimal grant policy. So because we get a lot of grant federal funding, we are required to work on this 2 CFR 200. So you will see the policy. I emailed it tonight. The drawing is very long and very tedious, so I'm just going to summarize it. The purpose is to establish procurement standards for federal and non-federal grant funds, ensuring compliance with 2 CFR 200, HUD regulations, Texas local government code, and other applicable laws. It applies to all supplies, equipment, construction, and services procured by Presidio County under federal awards and other awards. We will follow the most restrictive rule, whether that's federal, state, or local law, whichever is stricter, promotes fairness, transparency, and competition while safeguarding integrity and public trust. The Commissioners Court oversees procurement activities. The county auditor sets procedures, monitors compliance, and maintains records. Commissioners Court, all conflicts require Commissioners Court approval, and only the county judge has signatory authority. There's a specific ethical part in this grant. We should abide by strict ethics policy, not conflict of interest, or misuse of confidential information, mandatory disclosure of potential conflict, and disciplinary actions for violations. The general provisions will be contractor oversight, will be ensuring performance for contract terms, avoiding duplication, encouraging interlocal agreements for efficiency, maintaining records detailing procurement history for at least 5 years, and federal agencies have access rights for audits and reviews. Procurement methods, micro purchases, 10,000 to 2,000 for construction, small purchases, 10,000 to 100,000. The thresholds changed starting September 1 to require bids for purchase over $100,000. It used to be 50,000. Still be bids prefer construction 100,000. We have competitive proposals used when still bidding isn't suitable, non-competitive, so allowed only under specific conditions. Let's say there's no providers, nothing, and you have to have something that's required by the county. And we will require job order contracting for recurring maintenance, repair, and repair work. Contract requirements prohibited. We are prohibited using cost plus percentage of cost contracts for type department. We have to have fixed price, cost reimbursement in time and materials. With a ceiling price, you can't just automatically increase it without approval. And mandatory process for termination, remedies, civil rights, equal employment, the Davis-Bacon wages, safety standards, anti-lobbying, department checks, and environmental compliance. We are to have special provision, which is affirmative, includes small minority and women-owned businesses. We do have funding requirements for construction, $100,000 in compliance with the Davis-Bacon Act. For construction, has to be $2,000. Whistleblower protections and cybersecurity standards for contracts. And there's additional requirements for FEMA and CDBG, DR, and Texas Flow. grants, which will be green building standards, boycott, anti-terrorism certifications. We have to have data security and breach notification protocols. And we have to have a retention record of minimum 5 years required, if longer, is required by law.
Do we have all that in place?
It will be now with the stretch.
So by accepting this policy as written, which I tried to read last night,
Which is
but
very important.
it's pretty dry. But once we approve this policy, then we should be in compliance with what the auditor found us.
And not just our auditors, but with the federal government that gives us federal funds to
Okay.
use, and it will require every county department that uses federal grants to retain their records for funding.
Okay.
It's a very tedious and long process.
Am I the only one with the program?
No, the sheriff's department. And the Texas DDG money.
I move that we approve grant manual for policies and procedures in accordance with 2 CFR 200.
Second.
I have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye. Thank you for going through the process, and I can't wait to read the rest of this.
Very exciting.
Agenda item number 16, discussion with action to approve the termination of lease confirming the termination of the certain Marfa Municipal Airport land lease agreement dated February 22nd, 2024 from the County of Paseo to James P. McMahon, which automatically terminated upon his death on September 2nd, 2024.
Yeah, so, very unfortunately, shortly, several months after entering into this land lease, agreement with Mr. McMahon, he did pass away based on the way the lease is written. His lease at the airport automatically terminated upon his death, which is September 2nd, 2024. And so this, I'm just filing this, it's already happened. Signing this termination of lease doesn't effectuate the termination. It is basically, a prudent way to make sure that our files are reflecting that this lease has terminated. And then now this lease is going to be open for releasing. Another interesting thing to note with this one is that, I've mentioned before, all of the hangars, the actual structures, not all of them, but most of the hangars and structures at the airport are owned by the individual who takes the lease of property, which in real property law is very unique. So the county owns the land underneath it, and then the lessees, whoever has the lease, owns the actual structure. In this situation, based on the way the lease was written, the county is now going to own the hangar structure on the lease, on this lease property. So, this is what I think one of our first, I was talking to Chase, this might be one of our first times owning a private hangar at the county. So our options at this point, going forward, and of course we'll let Chase, since he's the one who handles leasing at the airport, let him work on that, is to either, enter into a new lease with a private individual with including the hangar, which means now our pricing for the lease will cost more money because not only does it come with the land, it also comes with the structure. Or something that Chase, is considering as a possibility is using the county being able to use that as a short-term hangar lease for people who are coming in, for days or weeks at a time. But I believe at this point we have someone who who already has probably more than one airplane at the airport who is interested in leasing it. So we're working on releasing this lease. But that's just an interesting thing to note, is that now the county owns the hangar structure on the lease here. Yes.
It's my recollection that on those leases, the estate had a certain amount of time to dispose of the hangar before it reverted to the county.
So the way the lease was written, the estate had 1 year to dispose of the personal property, but structures on land are improvements on real property. They are not legally considered personal property, and I've spoken to the attorney for their estate. They're very uninterested in keeping the hanger or the objects that were inside the hanger, which is the subject of the nest.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for the clarification. I can tell you that the intent when we rewrote the leases, in order not to make the people who own the hangers angry, the leases was to convey them the right of a year. And I know that the McMahon estate doesn't care. I heard about
It worked out in this case, but the way the lease was written, that's not how it effectuated.
That was because some people who were not land attorneys wrote on that lease. So I would recommend that when you're ready to work on the leases, the Commissioners Court might take into consideration, to either leave it as is or to change it however the Commissioners Court wants to.
Yeah, so, I'll discuss that in the future ones, but, Chase and I are working now on airport land use policy. I'm gonna have to withdraw or table, everything after 17, because we're getting all of those documents to be approved by TxDOT first, and so we're not ready yet to have them approved here. But part of that would be working on the forms and adding many new forms. Our forms, we don't have a commercial form for subleasing, we don't have a form for short-term leasing, which we're doing at the Paseo Airport under a verbal agreement, which gives me a lot of heartburn in addition to my unborn baby. And so we're working on fixing all of that. And I just know something to consider is whether the intent of the new form should be written to effectuate that intent, which is that the estate of the deceased lessee keeps the hanger structure, or at least has a period of time in which to opt to keep the hanger structure. So we are working on that.
Right,
in
just
this
to clarify, so what we were trying to do.
Yes, I know.
In the interest of having a plane flying in and out of there, we were not trying to allow the estate to keep the hangar and keep it empty.
Right.
We were trying to allow the state ample time to dispose of the property without possibly triggering a lawsuit against the county for an adverse possession thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know those rules better than I do. That was what we were trying to do. We obviously didn't succeed. So it's good. I'm glad you're here to fix it. If you recall, I ran all these documents by our then current county attorney, and I don't even think he looked at it. So it's up to us.
I am reworking all of our lease forms out there. And so we'll get there, especially before doing a new lease on this one that does include a hangar. Although that won't be an issue with that lease because the county, in fact, in that situation, will already own the hangar. And then I'll get to the private items in the next agenda item. So anyways, does anyone have any questions on lease termination?
No, I talked to Chase the other day too.
Okay.
I'm gonna move that we approve the termination lease, confirming the termination of certain Marfa Municipal Airport land lease agreement dated February 22nd, 2024 from the County Presidio to James P. McMahon, which automatically terminated upon James P. McMahon's death on September 2nd, 2024.
I'll second it.
I have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
And then you said, on the
We're going
advice,
to-
yeah,
I need to do
we're gonna do 17 and then the rest you'd like to have tabled. Okay. So
Guys.
agenda item number 17, go ahead.
I have to leave. I just want to let y'all know.
Bye, Frankie.
Okay. Take care.
Yes, y'all take care.
You will, you too. Thank you. Discussion with action to approve the donation of a small aircraft moving tug, a ladder, and some wheel chocks from the estate of James P. McMahon to the County of Presidio.
Okay, so what David just alluded to, there's a provision in the lease that upon the death, or upon the termination of the lease, especially with, in this case, the death of the lessee, the estate has 1 year by which to go in and remove all the personal items on the property. These were the items that were left on the property. Thankfully, it was in very clean condition. Chase was not left with, insane mess to have to deal with. Yes, it's been over a year, but because, you know, we're kind of just getting our feet with the airport stuff. I talked to the attorney for the estate, and asked if they would like to still go in there and remove these items and take them. She indicated that the heirs of the estate have no interest in them and that they would like to donate them to the county for use on the airports. I'm working with Chase on this. If any of these items are worth over $500, he's going to get with Flo to make sure that we have them moved onto the asset list. He would like to move some of these items, especially the small aircraft moving tug, down to Presidio Lely Airport, because Marfa Airport already has a moving tug and Presidio Airport could use a better one. So I think he is excited that we've got a few more items coming in, even though they are small, coming in for the Presidio County Airport's use. So please approve the donation.
I move that we approve the donation of a small aircraft moving tug, a ladder, and wheel chocks from the estate of James P. McMahon to the County of Presidio.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we will table agenda items number 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22.
Yes, we are still working with TechStop on finalizing those. Anyone? Ariana Dipper reached out to me and if anyone has questions in the meantime about the forums we're looking at, or anything we're doing at the airports, this is all, it's a lot of stuff and it's all moving very fast. Please call me or email me, and I'm happy to discuss airport stuff.
The only question I have is, those were floated to us earlier and I gave some input, so, okay.
Once I get my hands on it.
I know.
Poor Chase.
I'd like to
He
see
would like
it.
to make many changes and then.
I'd like to see it.
There's many changes, so.
I'll send you an email.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So
Hopefully we'll bring these to the next one and that way we can have that in place before the new year is my, hope. But like I said, since we're dealing with TechStop and we can't, force them to be fast, we're at the mercy of the state.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 23. Discussion with action to approve the FY 2026 jury plan for Presidio County. Ms. Catano?
So Judge Kimball has asked for Commissioner's Court to approve that jury plan.
Anything in there that's unrealistic or that you find challenging?
I have a question. I reviewed it. Is it going to change the role of the tax assessor's office to not provide the names?
They haven't been.
They have. Okay. I'm out of date, but it's been a while since.
Oh, yeah, our office has been doing that for quite some time now.
Okay. And this is gonna send it,
We do time on it. A lot of times, team, they've had a lot of issues with team.
team is the Texas,
Yes.
state of Texas program.
Yes. And they've had a lot of issues with that, so we go through them.
I like it, right. And
Yeah.
I like it's gonna, randomly pick wheel names.
Yes.
Get for y'all, and then from there, the project.
I move that we approve the FY 2026 jury plan for Presidio County.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item number 24, discussion with action to approve the employer's benefit agreement for MASA.
This is for the AirMed, Med Air, the helicopter that the county can, or each employee can decide to voluntarily, get that plan. It's a little late because MASA and our broker Mindy were having a hard time. They had left out a option for the employees that was offered to us. And so Mindy was having a hard time getting that contract, but we have it now. So we,
Will that get out now or MASA?
no, MASA did.
So are we changing any?
No, nothing's changing. So what they offered us that day, the employees, they left one of those options out. So then, Mindy said, that's not what you gave me when I offered this to them. So then they had to change out the contract to reflect what the application said that they gave us.
So we don't pay for our employees.
No,
Okay.
that's you.
What is the, and I'm just, what is the cost for an employee?
$14.
Yeah.
So what would be the cost for the county to cover it for all employees?
Ooh.
At 90 employees at $14.
Why would we do that, Joe?
Well, and the only reason I bring that up, I know that the school districts do that. I know that the city of Presidio does that. It's $14 a year.
The basic one.
Like, you have an individual person?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that's.
They
For
have,
each person.
and I think it includes family,
You
or
can-
maybe it's a good benefit, yeah.
So the $14 plan, what it includes is just for your immediate family. It's not for your household. Before, it used to be for whoever lives in your house, and now that's no longer.
Yeah.
I believe it's the $19 plan. I should have brought my book with me, but the $19 plan does include whoever lives in your household now. Each employee has, an option, their options, but the one that just covers yourself and your immediate family is the $14 plan.
Yeah, if I did really quick math on it,
2,000.
it's a little over 15,000 based on 90 employees.
At-
And 26 fair.
Yeah, so it's,
Well, I did 14 a month, right? You said 14 a month? Times 12 months times 90.
I just don't know why, I don't know why we would even consider this when earlier, when we were talking about other insurances, we were looking for cost cutting measures.
I think it's just, MASA has always been up to the employee, it's a choice.
Right,
It's never been part that the county pays for.
right,
So I never brought it, I didn't think to
Right.
even bring it up as something that the county could pay for.
right.
And
Yeah, I
and to be quite, and the same thing, the chances of using it are very slim. The truth is I use it, I have it through my wife, but I just used it a month and a half ago.
Right.
So, and when I saw the bill of that thing, it was like, whoa, sir, man, that's some big money.
Yeah, I get my pay through the city.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And you can.
And I'm just throwing it out there.
Sure,
Just a discussion.
Maybe we can discuss it during
Absolutely.
budget.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're asking for us to improve the employer benefit agreement for NASA,
Yes,
Yes.
correct.
even though I don't
As
see
it
it.
stands.
It should be on the drive.
Yeah.
Why do I keep missing all this? Am I having it is.
Summer 24?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
There it is. My bad.
I want to move, we approve the employer benefits agreement for Massa.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Agenda item number 25. Agenda item number 25, discussion with action to approve the certified payments addendum to the original contract agreement. Certified payments will be integrated with Spindle Media, our property tax software.
Well, good day, everybody. Hey, you want
Hello.
some good news?
Great news.
Great news. My chief deputy clerk just had a baby.
Yeah.
Nina, 7 pounds, 7 ounces. Healthy baby.
Nice.
Congratulations to you.
So that's good news this morning.
And the bad news is she's gonna be away from you for a while.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But that's okay. We will survive. Okay, going back, I don't know, commissioners, you recall the other agreement that I had brought, I don't know when I brought it, it was last commissioner's court on certified payments where the people could pay their property taxes online.
Right.
Blair picked up on the agreement that they wanted to be exclusive.
Correct?
So they, send us an, how do you pronounce this?
An addendum?
Which is where there's.
Technically, it should be an amendment. They should have just been the contract.
I guess they just didn't want to do the whole thing,
So it's just where they added where they won't be exclusive.
Okay.
So,
They won't enforce that.
yeah,
Okay.
so,
You
hopefully,
and on both parties sign, that fixes my
Concern.
concern.
yeah. So,
I have talked to several of your employees and they absolutely love
yes,
the new software.
yes.
So
Are
Well,
you having the other payment processors?
they're just, they haven't sent me anything,
Okay.
nothing. They're still,
When
it's
did
like
they go
They don't
away?
care.
Huh?
5 years they
Yeah,
go
they don't
away?
care, you don't care, no one's talking about it at all.
Okay.
Okay, well, Mr. Robert Briscoe came into my office and he wanted to come to the commissioner's court and see all of you and talk to all of you. But he sends his regards and he was very upset. Why Presidio County does not accept payments with a credit card, debit card. He said all the counties are all on board and just you. So I put it in your court and I said, it's the commissioners and the judge. No, not really. No, but he was very upset and he said it's about time. We need to be progressive. We need to be, he told me to tell you his history. I don't know him. He's, what is it? The something brothers? The Bales brothers?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yes.
And his dad was Frank Briscoe or something like that.
I mean, he is who he is.
Well, it seems to me like he's somebody very important, okay?
In his own mind?
Yeah.
Like, you know, he has, I don't know, and he says that he has a ranch or something like that.
Sure. I almost think it's about Janani House for me.
Yeah, so he said, I would go with you, but I'm just putting it out there. He wanted for me to tell you that he had been in my office he said, I don't have time. I gotta go back to work. Please tell those commissioners, it's about time.
After it's, approved, I'll let you do it.
They said immediately,
Love it.
Blair, because they're already working with Spindle Media in other counties, so they said we'll be, right, so.
Love that.
So hopefully that's all I have to say, thank you. And-
Well-
And if you say no, then I'm gonna call him, give him a call. To
Well-
Commissioner's Court next time.
I personally think Mr. Briscoe was right, and thank you for doing the work to get this done. So I'm gonna move that, we approve certified payments addendum to original contract agreement. Certified payments would be integrated with Spindle I don't have to say that. I'm moving that we approve certified payments addendum to original contract agreement.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. Is this take effect immediately?
Yes, as soon as I get this signed, I guess by you and then them, and then we're good to go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Nancy.
Let's move on to department reports. Discussion with action to approve the Presidio County Department Reports A through K.
Commissioner, I will ask court to pull, Justice of the Peace Precinct 2 financial report for the month of November. I received it on Tuesday and I was looking through it and doing it. The numbers don't match, dates don't match. The private collections report, does not match with the actually distribution summary. And it's because of the dates. A long email thread yesterday asking for those reports. They were done, but the dates are off, so it throws off the whole reporting. So I'm asking Commissioner's Court to pull that. Hopefully she'll get that to me and I can put it in Commissioner's Court for January, I believe.
Why does Juanita not, get us this on the drive, or am I gonna miss it again, y'all? I don't understand why we have to continually get separate emails.
Did you get it through your email?
I see JP1.
It's on there.
It is?
It's right underneath.
Yeah.
Where?
Judge Marcos.
In the drive? Yeah, it's
D?
E.
I don't see E.
It was uploaded December 5th.
If you have it done, if you have it sorted by,
Well, change your sorting. It is wrong. I mean, it is the wrong, report. We will not accept that.
Where is it? Am I sorting it wrong?
Yeah, I don't know how to sort it on your computer. But we will look A, B, G, D. Yeah, I don't know where yours went.
Right.
H.
Okay,
I
yeah,
don't know.
I'm gonna agree with Floor. And I move that we approve Presidio County Department reports with the exception of item number E, Justice of the Peace Precinct 2 report.
Second.
I have a motion, a second by Commissioner Hernandez. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
We'll move on to administrative updates and announcements from the county judge and commissioners. Commissioner Knight,
I don't have anything. This time.
all good? Commissioner Hernandez, I think Commissioner Ortiz is off.
Who's gone?
Commissioner?
I have a question. Does anyone in the court have any knowledge of the Ruta Chispa past event this past weekend?
Ruta Chispa.
Is this what
Ruta.
Gary
Yes.
was talking about?
Yeah.
All I heard is what Gary told me, but did anything happen, Gary?
I have more to report.
Okay.
So, we just did the Ruta Santa Teresa in Presidio.
Oh.
And it's the off-road.
It's Ruta.
Ruta. Okay.
I
Ruta.
was like, Ruta, who's Ruta?
Right, Ruta. So anyway, I know that this was put on by Chinati Hot Springs. And I am going to be reaching into Justin because this was on a county road, Chispa. It was never brought to Commissioner's Court.
Okay.
And typically, I ran into a bunch of the guys when I was coming home from hunting and I visited with them all. They said it was terribly run. And that typically when those go on, and I don't know what happened with the Santa Teresa one, but they also give donations to the EMS or fire department because this, especially on Chispa Road, has the potential of being a very dangerous thing. But I was told by one of the members that Justin said he got permission from the county. And that's all I'm asking is, did y'all know anything about this? Because I know our EMC knows nothing about it. I know the sheriff's office did not know anything about it. And they're planning on making this an annual event. I'm not saying I'm opposed to it, but we have processes that they need to do. So I just want to give y'all the heads up on that.
And then because if they get hurt or something, that's
Exactly.
a mess.
Exactly.
Move everybody.
Exactly, especially on Chispa. I mean, Presidio EMS, they don't have the equipment to go out there. So that was the one thing. And I just want to say congratulations to Justice of the Peace 1, Dina Marquez, and our incoming Commissioner Precinct 4, Susan Hayes, because they are being able to run unopposed. And I would say best of luck to all the others that are in the race. That's all I got.
Yeah, on the Ruta thing, I didn't know about that Chispas thing. I guess here would be my just off the top of my head, what would trigger that? So say 10 guys got together and said, hey, let's go from here to here. Do they have to come to us?
We have a mass gathering permit
Correct.
system.
Yeah. And the numbers on them are pretty big though.
Right.
And it's mass gathering. I don't know if that would meet the definition of a
Right.
mass gathering. It might. But I know that I'm trying to remember what that number is.
Well,
Was it
Joe,
500?
they had vendors, they had food and everything set up, and to me, that is definitely. I'll re-look at that mass gathering.
Oh no, and I'll tell you this. You mentioned you're not opposed to it. I'll tell you what. You sit here and you look at some of the money these guys spent on those things. Now, I would never buy one.
Right.
Number one, I don't have the money. Number two, but they have a great time. So I know that Ojinaga has a club, Presidio has a club, the one in Santa Teresa, I think it brought in 200 of them. And they ran into some issues, again, lack of communication.
Right.
Some people weren't happy that they crossed over on their land. I know that they didn't have any incidents as far as anybody getting hurt. Nobody rolled over, nobody got, there was no accidents.
Right.
That they used the county road, correct?
Well, but more than that, they had to be on the state highway.
How did they do that without getting some kind of
I don't know.
approval?
I don't know.
They had
I
to.
think there's an arrogance there that needs to be.
Yeah.
I'm with you, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, they,
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that we as a court need to understand, we do not have an ordinance in place the way the city of Presidio does that allows for that.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to bring it to the court's attention and I'm going to.
No, I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it either. I do know that, there's a Raptor crew that came out to Cibolo, and again, it was like 75 Raptors, Ford Raptors. Those are $100,000 trucks.
Right.
Then on top of that, those guys put added suspension on them.
Right.
And spend another 50 or 100 grand on them.
Right.
And then they go jump off mountains.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right.
But they enjoy it.
But they do it on private property.
That's correct.
a whole different
That's
story.
correct.
Yeah.
My big concern was just EMS.
Right.
Resources for.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I have
And some
a
of the
concern too with
participants
the wear
were
and tear on the road.
Yeah.
All right, just bringing it to your attention.
Okay. Well, we look forward to a future agenda item.
Okay.
I'm gonna send this to the court and anybody else that wants it. They just approved the demographics. The state of Texas approved the census and everything that came with it. And it's good for us to go in there and look to see what are they projecting, what are they thinking about. I'm looking at it right now. 2025, they show our population to be 5,490 in the county. By 2028, so that's not too far from here, 3 years, they're projecting our population will be 4,928. By 2030, they're saying we're going to have 4,000 people. And I could keep going on. I will tell you the numbers are sad. They just keep going down. 3,000, down to 2,500, down to 2,600, down to 1,800. The last one they have projected is 1,598 people that would live in the county of Presidio.
Joe, who's this
Presidio
from?
County, Texas Demographic Center.
What's that?
Last year was 54. Oh, you mean
What's
20,
what's that last year, that $1,000, or 1,000?
1,500 ballpark. Yeah.
What year was that?
2020 was 6131.
Yeah, what's the
And
last year?
The last year is the last year, which goes all the way to 2060, is 1,632. So, and I think it goes back to exactly what we're seeing. I mean, if you guys have driven through like Sanderson or Valentine, I mean, there's significant changes. And rural Texas is taking it on the chin. Again, it's important for us to keep in mind where our numbers at, where they're growing. I hope, honestly, I hope they're wrong. That's what I hope for. You mentioned some opportunities maybe with data.
Yeah.
I know the rail. I know I'm working on, can we get some good jobs here? Can we have some young families moving in? So, but just, it looks grim on paper. And so we need to hopefully be agents to want to attract people to come and stay.
Yeah.
But I'll send that link
Please do.
for you guys to look at it. I did go to Houston last week and I met with Dr. Todd Hamilton with Hamilton Health. He's applying for there's going to be a big pot of money for rural health care. And it's a 5-year project. It's a 5-year program. He's applying for $30 million for the next 5 years. 300 million total is going to be distributed in Texas alone. And so he showed me his plan, and I would like to work with him. I think as time goes on, you guys will get a better picture of it. But he wants to solve rural health in Far West Texas, which would include Van Horn, Balmorhea, Fort Davis, Marfa, Presidio, Terlingua, Alpine, Marathon, and Sanderson, Texas.
They're already in
And-
the city limits.
Correct. And they're in Marfa.
Right.
And they're in Terlingua. So it's an expanded footprint, number one. Number two, it might have some unique opportunities for us. Number one, 30 million is a lot of money. But they want to start having conversations with us to see if we have the appetite for it. Because one of the suggestions is to embed EMS in this rural healthcare. So they would be urgent cares, walk-in clinics. Matter of fact, I took my parents to the one in Presidio, and we saw a nurse practitioner. It's great. If a nurse practitioner is not available or they want to consult, there's doctors readily available on these large screens, and the nurses, are their fingers, and the doctor is the eyes. So I think it has a lot of potential. I think it's a great opportunity for us to expand. So hopefully it would be welcoming to allow for some economic relief to the Marfa EMS, the Presidio EMS, and then expand healthcare coverage in our areas. So there's a lot of moving parts in it. I wish them the best of luck. I'll keep you all posted as it moves forward. But I know that he's going to be having meetings soon. I do know that very soon, I think, he's going to come and ask Commissioners Court for a resolution, basically saying that we support this effort and give him a stab at it. There is a Big Bend Regional Hospital District meeting today in Marfa, first time in a long time. The meeting is going to take place at 3 o'clock. It will be at the library. Everyone's invited. So hopefully we'll see you there, and we'll get caught up with what they have going on.
Bless you.
Madam Clerk, Madam Treasurer, Madam Tax Assessor Collector, Counselor, Ms. Park. Sorry.
I'm nearing
You're choking.
the end of us. If anyone has any burning contract, legal issues, please start emailing those to me soon. Once I start getting covered up by not only that, preparing the maternity leave stuff, but also end of year stuff. I just want to make sure I've got a priority list of which ones I need to go through beforehand. I don't want things to get dropped off the list before I drop the state down. Thank you.
Good luck. Ms. Sanchez.
Just as an FYI, we added all the new cybersecurity to the county computers here in the courthouse and the annex. If your computer is missing that software, please bring it by the office to install it. And if you have a Chromebook, you don't have to worry about installing that software. Your computer's fine. But if you're missing one, just bring it by. Any cybersecurity problem you have, reach out to me. Now I guess I'm a cybersecurity person. But let me know, bring it by our office and we'll take care of that.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
I have a motion and second. All in favor?
Bye.
It is 12:50.